Okay. So we are live, and let me get the link. There we go. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's AMA. All right, and if you haven't already, come on down to AMA chat. And if you do have any questions that come up as we move forward here, be sure to drop them here in Discord. All right, so hopefully you have noticed that Dyson V2.3.0 has launched with a whole host of pretty amazing updates and enhancements, and hopefully you've been able to check these out. But I would like to dive into some of those major updates. So first are some aesthetic changes that will help give Dyson a more cohesive look overall. And second is the enhanced dashboard area that is simply located at the top of Dyson's D app. And this has the Dyson TVL, as well as a breakdown of that TVL from Dyson's Vaults, the Sphere Locker, and Dyson's ALM, or Automatic Liquidity Manager, which currently consists of assets funneled through Preon. And I think this starts to highlight the synergy of the ecosystem, whereby when one protocol does well, the other is also boosted, collectively catapulting the ecosystem forward. And then with respect to Dyson, in addition to the TVL breakdown, we now have a display of total yield generated on Dyson since March 13th of this year, since implementing the enhanced analytics. Hello, T1, good to see you. All right, and then finally, also the dashboard shows the total value of all of your deposits within Dyson. DeFi Panda, hello. Moving to the vaults themselves, the APY is now accompanied by the daily ROI as well, and these are updated regularly to reflect the yield of the underlying vault. The APY already takes into account any performance fees, so what you see is what you get within Dyson. Definitely, I think, important to point out. Next to the APY and ROI on the vaults, you can now see the TVL of the vault on Dyson, as well as the total TVL of the underlying DEX vault, for example, Aerodrome, or the LP on Aerodrome, I should say. All right. Next, and then most exciting, in my opinion, are the added details of the vault with a full breakdown of earned yield. So this comes in the form of a graph with total acquired yield and a numerical breakdown, as well as for total profit and average ROI. And that includes the monthly, weekly, and daily profits with their respective ROIs. So these analytics, of course, apply to individual positions as well. And you can switch back and forth by clicking on Vault versus My Yield. Additionally, the historical data and vault metrics remain the same, and there's also now an added section that tracks deposit and withdrawal history for your position. So the goal with these metrics is to improve your decision-making process and enhance the yield farming experience to better make informed decisions. But also, let's be honest, it gives us the chance to check in on our profits and watch those positions grow, which is always very nice to see. And we, of course, continue to improve on these Dyson user interface experience, providing bug fixes and patches where necessary, and as suggested by the community when appropriate. So, as always, thank you for your feedback. We have also continued to build Dyson's yield farming options. We've added the USDA Euro and USDA USDC vaults from Aerodrome, auto-compounded, of course. And as a note for auto-compounding, Our Dyson Harvest bot has been launched with harvest scheduled approximately every 8 hours, ensuring round-the-clock realization of profits for fully optimized and amplified yield farming. All right, that is a mouthful, and it's much easier seen, visualized than spoken about. So again, if you have not yet had the opportunity to do so, head on over to Dyson, check out the new and improved analytics. You can do that by going to the All Vaults, clicking on Manage, and then clicking on the Details section, which will then take you to the analytics for the vault. And also you can click into my position there as well so that you can see your earnings. Any questions about Dyson, its analytics, things of that nature? Good, good. All right. Well, we continue to host as well community events with our most recent community quiz hosted by our very own Hugh Powell. And this was done on the 19th. And congratulations to the winners. We also continue our Engage campaign with a list of different prizes that you can earn by simply liking, reposting, and commenting on our X posts. So be sure to participate if you haven't already, and if you are, then keep up the awesome work, and we greatly appreciate your support. All right. With respect to Preon and liquidations, we are happy to report that Preon has been working exactly as intended with respect to managing liquidations and maintaining an appropriate collateralization and therefore a stable peg for STAR. And during the intense volatility seen in the market last week alone, over 30 vaults were liquidated with over 213,000 WMATIC, 47,000 STMATIC, and around 7.7 WETH being liquidated. I do see a question. How does Sphere benefit from depositing collateral on Preon only by fees? Collateral gets farmed. Right. It's a bit more complex than that. So Neo Viper, essentially the deposited collateral, as Team Claradora mentioned, a portion of that is yield farmed through Dyson. Now, that yield will go to VE Preon holders, Preon being the governance token of Preon, which will come with Preon V2. And Sphere will hold, the Sphere Treasury will hold a significant portion of VE Preon, which means that the yield from that farmed collateral will be able to funnel through VE Preon to Sphere lockers. I know it's a bit roundabout. It may seem confusing at first, but that is the goal of the ecosystem, is to create these different projects that are able to funnel yield to Sphere. When VE Sphere, indeed. And I do actually have a little segment to talk about that a little bit later as well, Neo Viper. So very good question. Hey, I heard Preon tokenomics are going to be different. So more information shall be revealed in time. But let's dive into it, because I think people, yeah. But yes, Preon will have a governance token. But finally, of course, again, saving the best for last. So in line with the continued growth and evolution of the ecosystem, we are getting closer and closer to the very long anticipated launch of Preon V2. Yes, you know me well, T1. Alongside a whole host of new features. So Preon V2 will come with the launch of the Preon token, which is indeed the protocol's governance token. I'm giggling just because Preon V2 is going to be fantastic. So importantly, and you may have seen this in the announcements, after careful consideration and analysis, we did decide to not proceed with a pre-sale for the Preon token. And there are several reasons for this, including but not limited to the following. I do want to go through all of these. First is risk assessment, where pre-sales do come with inherent risks, including the risk of potential manipulation at launch, and can detract from our tokenomics plans. Funding, as thankfully, unlike many projects, thanks to our already strong ecosystem and treasury yield, we do not require initial funding for audits, for marketing, etc., which really makes the risks associated with the pre-sale quite unnecessary. Equal access of Preon as well, the token, as by skipping a pre-sale, we can ensure fair access to all investors at launch, preventing token concentration among early participants, as well as, again, preventing potential price manipulation. It also really encourages organic market dynamics, as by launching without a pre-sale, it allows for a natural price discovery that's driven by market supply and demand. Community trust, we feel, is also an important reason, as we feel moving forward without a pre-sale is more in line with our commitment to transparency and, most importantly, fairness. Simplicity, because skipping a pre-sale will streamline our launch process and therefore eliminates any unnecessary complexities. And finally, long-term focus, as by avoiding pre-sale price speculation, we aim to attract users who are interested in the genuine utility of the protocol. So at the end of the day, and ultimately, we are committed to a smooth and equitable fair token launch for all users. So stay tuned for more updates on our launch timeline and distribution details, because it is going to get spicy soon. Do you want? I'm. I don't know what I can and can't say, and I like building suspense, so I will just say stay tuned. Storm Range. I will get to your question a little at the end, because I want to mention a few things first with respect to that, and then we can tackle that. But just to kind of finish up with respect to Preon and community notes, for those who have a keen eye, you may have noticed that Preon V1.2.0 is in beta testing to improve on Preon's current functioning. And then our next step on the list will be to move Preon V2 into its QA phase. Guys, I am smiling. All right. So tying into Storm Rage's question, also Neo Vipers. Oh, hold on. Should I find the funds? Neo Viper wondering if I should find the funds for the Preon token or continue to hold the locked sphere. That is really up to you. That's more of a financial decision on your part. But what I will say is that by holding sphere, you do gain exposure to Preon. You will gain exposure to the governance and yield of Preon. Yep, and T1 responding to that as well. Perfect. So Mouse, what can we as sphere holders expect from it? So I think it's very important to reiterate, and also tying in Storm Rage here, this question, what Preon means for a sphere, because we do see this asked quite a bit. So remember that sphere is at the center of the entire ecosystem, meaning that the sphere treasury will receive a sizable amount of Preon for the purposes of governance and yield through Preon. So that yield will then be able to be funneled to sphere lockers. And the more the ecosystem grows, the more yield will be available to funnel to Spherians. So Storm Rage, kind of getting more towards your question, the goal of Sphere is and has always been to create an entire ecosystem suite of DeFi projects that can synergize together and significantly amplify yield. And already with what we've built with Dyson and Preon, we're able to significantly amplify the yield of the treasury, the Sphere treasury, thanks to these protocols that we have built. It takes a lot more time to build these things out ourselves. And obviously that can come with some growing pains and a lot of pivoting as the market evolves. But that end goal is still the same, of having Sphere at the center of that ecosystem where capital efficiency and yield and governance are the priorities. All right, just making sure I'm all caught up on AMA chat. I think I am. Right, so Team Claradora, basically it boils down to more yield. And also jumping back on Neo Viper's question, that's also a main point of the ecosystem, is that there's a lot of complexities and ways that people can utilize these different modalities for yield farming and whatnot. But if that is all too complicated and you don't want to get into all that and you want to simplify things, then yes, simply utilizing the Sphere locker does ensure that you are exposed to all of those ecosystem components. Don't want to lose everything in the process like a massive liquidation. Yeah, right. Well, so that is only if you collateralize, right? So I definitely understand that there are added risks to collateralization. The Preon token specifically is not a token that is at risk of liquidation, because you don't put it up for collateral or that kind of thing. Whereas you put other assets up for collateral to borrow star, and then Preon is the governance token of that collateralized debt position project. But the Preon token also comes, of course, with volatility risk because it is not a pegged token. All righty. Let me just jump in AMA questions. Anything in here? Nope. Okay. Yeah, surprisingly, there were no AMA questions over the past 2 weeks. So I take that as a good thing. Hopefully that means that people are understanding things and that we're moving in a good direction in terms of being able to communicate some of the complexities of this ecosystem as we're building it out. And hopefully that also means that people are starting to get excited for what is coming. So that is really everything I have. A bit of a shorter AMA this week. Is Sphere Lend on pause? Kind of yes and no. Really, the correct answer to that, sorry, I'm stumbling so much. The correct answer to that is we are very much focused on Preon V2 and its launch. So that is receiving the vast majority of our resources, time and attention and energy at this moment. But yes, so that is everything that I wanted to go through at this time. So lay out your questions here in AMA chat. Let's see what else you guys have. Sim's doing great. Sim's doing very well. What are you trying to do, Yo Mama Fat? Was there some tentative ETA for V2? You trying to get me to answer a when question? I see what it is that you are doing. Nice try. Do we know what kind of magic is behind OVN USD Plus Vault on Dyson? Not magic. It's just that Overnight Finance decided to incentivize the, absolute storm out of that vault. They threw a lot of incentives at that vault to, I think, make it their impact on history. They were really proud of the fact that this was the first vault that had received $1 million worth of incentives for an epoch, which, let's be real, is really crazy. So that's behind the magic of the OVN USD Plus Vault. It's real incentives, real governance through Aerodrome, getting those votes, getting those Arrow token rewards. Ruck's coming in. When Star Plus. We do have, of course, continued ideas and plans for how to continue to incentivize and provide yield opportunities for Star. But yes, I suppose with respect to what Rux is saying internally, there is a tentative ETA for V2. Which is why I'm excited and smiling. I always go back to this because I think it's very helpful way to conceptualize, but it's the whole clockwork analogy for Sphere. Preon V2 is such a big cog in that clockwork, so it's going to be pretty amazing, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are all looking forward to it too. Clever, clever, Team Claradora. Clever, clever. All right, any other questions? Don't want to keep you guys on any longer than necessary. We all have things to do, and I have gotten hounded in the past for my lack of punctuality on these AMAs. Or I guess more like efficiency. Anywho. All right, I mean, that's really it. So yeah, Dyson V2.3.0, Preon V1.2.0 in beta testing, Preon V2 set to move into QA phase next. We're getting closer, guys. We are getting closer. All right, well, it is close to the turn of the epoch, so if you do have any governance tokens, here is your reminder to be sure to lock in your votes to earn those governance incentives. Please check your Sphere locker, if you have any Sphere in the Sphere locker, to make sure that if you have any unlocks, that you can either withdraw it or relock it. And if you have any questions that come up, please be sure to drop them in AMA questions so that they can be answered next time. Or, of course, you can always drop your questions into the main chats here on Sphere's Discord, and we have plenty of people who are more than happy to help out. And thank you again to our awesome community for helping those people who come in and have questions. You guys are doing an amazing job. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate your support on all of the X posts as well. We are rolling on ahead forward, and it's good. So all right, thanks everyone for showing up, coming out. I will see you next time. Hello, Pandu. Just in time to say hello, goodbye. And yeah, always remember that you matter for who you are. Take care and peace.